more than 4,000 cases on the People's Court, and his son recently became a municipal court judge here in Los Angeles. Welcome Judge Joseph A. Wapner and Judge Frederick Wapner.
Order! Where's your gavel?
I have none. Well, I banged this, but it's very expensive. Nice to see you again. How are you? And good to meet Fred as well.
Nice to be here.
When were you sworn in?
I was appointed in July, and the official swearing in was in October.
But he worked between July and October.
Oh, he did.
He was already working.
Yeah. Now, were you there for the swearing in?
I was there for the swearing in. They asked me to be the principal speaker. At first, I didn't think I wanted to do it, or I should do it because of the other inductees, but Fred talked to them, and they didn't mind, so I did. And I think it was one of the first times in my life I was scared to death.
Yeah.
And I got up there, and I was shaking, and tears in my eyes, but I did it.
Boy, you had to be proud, though.
Oh, I was proud, yeah.
What is it about Fred that will make him a good judge? And I guess more broadly, what traits make any judge a good judge?
Well, I guess that he's a very compassionate person. He's very kind and considerate, and yet he can be very tough if he has to be. And he knows the law. He's been a trial attorney as a deputy DA for 14 years, and he's very good at evidence, and he treats people well. I think he'll be extremely good judge.
Now, can we talk a little bit about your father as a father rather
Sure.
than a judge? Now, here you are as a kid. I assume sometime in your life you did something naughty, right? You shouldn't have done.
Never.
No, never. Well, let's just let's theoretically say you did. And now, you know, for most of us,
He's not under oath.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, we should have sworn him in. That you know, everyone's concerned that Dad's going to come home now and have a little talk to you. But here's Dad and a judge. I mean, did you have a sense of that at all? That he was the sort of authoritarian figure even outside the home?
Yeah, but he scared me enough before he was a judge that it didn't really make much difference once he became a judge.
How do you separate that? Because in the courtroom, I mean, it is your court, and
That's right.
and I assume you can't bring that attitude home with you, really.
You
to your
can't,
family.
because, and my family never let me do it. See, Fred and his brother and sister, or she came along a little bit later, and my wife, of course, but none of them allowed me to be the judge at home, and they're correct, because you can't bring it home. You have to treat them with respect and dignity as they are. They're individuals, and if I ever started to question them, they say, cut that cross-examination out, Dad. Leave that in the courtroom.
Yeah. Are you, you're not under oath, as your father pointed out here, Fred, but is there anything maybe that you did as a child that perhaps even to this day he doesn't know about, that on national television you would just like to get off your chest? There's hardly anyone out. There's a few folks in the studio and a couple of stragglers at home, that's all. Right.
Well, yeah, he probably doesn't know this. One time, and only one time,
Yes?
I stole a penny piece of candy from a store near where I went to elementary school. And he must have done, and my mom must have done something right bringing me up, because I was so scared and petrified, and I felt so horrible. I never told them. I never told anyone. Never, ever did it again.
Well, you're under arrest, Fred. Is that true? Is that a true story? Well,
True story.
You care to admonish him at all, or do you think he learned his lesson?
No, I'm sure he learned his lesson. That's obvious. But I think that everyone, probably everyone, even President of the United States, on down, as when they were kids, did something like that.
Sure.
I just think they all do. And then you learn that you're not supposed to, and you don't do it again. But
what would be an example in your life?
Well, I'll tell you one thing I did. I guess I can confess to this, too.
All right.
But as long as Fred's done it, I did it once. There was a 5 and 10 cent store in our neighborhood when I was growing up. I don't know how old I was, but I know I must have been 8 or 10. And something about dice intrigued me. I don't know what it was. And I think I took a pair of dice.
Wow, and that was it for you?
That was it for me. I think there were probably 5 or 10 cents.
Oh, this is a regular crime ring. But you're right.
I think that I'll probably be fired tomorrow.
Oh, no, I don't think so, and I appreciate both of your coming clean on that. You know, you have two other children.
Yes.
And what do they do?
Well, David is a lawyer. He's 14 and a half months younger than Fred. And we have a daughter who's 31, and she's in early childhood development. She's teacher's assistant.
And you've been married for a long time.
43 years.
So it must be... That's worth an applause. It must be especially, I don't know, poignant or difficult or whatever for you on the People's Court when families are going at each other.
I think that is the most difficult for me. Here I am with Fred on this show, and we're really quite close. We're very close. He confides in me, and I confide in him. And here I had a case involving a father who was suing his son because the son wouldn't repay a loan the father had made. And that was very sad for me. It was very difficult to try. I tried to settle it on television. They wouldn't settle. Couldn't talk to them. So I made it a policy. I've often told Fred, I told David and Sarah, I won't loan them any money. I won't loan them money. I'll give them money. But I said, look, suppose I loan you money and you don't pay it back. Am I going to sue you? And the answer is obviously no. So why loan them money? If they need it and I've got it, I'll give it to them.
Now, when the elder Judge Wapner steps down, as I assume one day you'll say that's enough. I've had it for the People's Court. I'm sure it'll be a long time hence.
I hope.
Is that something you would consider if the opportunity were there? Would you like to carry on the family tradition?
If the opportunity were there, I'd consider it. It would depend on when it happened. I really love what I'm doing. I've only been doing it about 7 months now. And I wouldn't want to do it anytime soon. I've got a lot more to learn and a lot more that I want to do. It happened to Dad after he had already retired and been sitting as a judge for 20 years. If I sit on the bench for 20 years, if I'm lucky enough to do that, and then they want to put me on television, I'll do it.
All right. I think you do it. I think you do a darn good job. It's great seeing both of you, and we'll see you a little bit later on in the program. Judges Wapners, I guess. Thank you both.